Under the spectral glow of a full moon, the rusted gate of Coldridge radio station stands as a haunting threshold. Callie Mercer's voice cuts through the night. We're live at Coldridge, the most haunted transmission site on the East Coast. Ezra Lane adjusts their headphones, alert to a mysterious low-frequency pulse. Dean Holloway, the ex-military medic, remains skeptical. Harper Duval, the former ranger, warns of potential traps. The gate groans open, reluctantly granting passage to the Coldridge radio station. The team moves into the station grounds, their cautious footsteps echoing in the heavy air. Rust and decay consume the radio station, its vacant windows staring into the desolate landscape. The studio stands frozen in time, its dusty consoles and flickering lights casting long shadows across the room. Dean's voice echoes in the silence. Is the power still running? Harper's response cuts through the stillness. There are no generators on record. Ezra stops, a furrow appearing on their brow as faint whispers fill the studio. Something's whispering. It said my name. A wall-mounted speaker crackles, its distorted voice echoing through the studio. Ezra, you shouldn't have come back. Ezra shivers. The voice is their grandmother's, gone for 6 years. The red recording light flickers, signaling the start. Callie stands firm, her face a mask of determination. Callie declares, we're not leaving without answers. Callie moves through the corridor, the warped walls looming around her. The flashlight beam illuminates a door marked Control Room. The door swings open, revealing an unsettling stillness. In the control room, a microphone stands alone, a silent sentinel amidst spinning reels. Ezra's voice cuts through the static. Something's trying to imprint, like it's echoing our signals. Dean examines the unplugged microphone, seeking answers in its silent form. The speaker hisses, filling the control room with an ominous warning. Suddenly, the lights surge, flooding the room in a menacing blood-red glow. The door slams shut with a resounding thud, sealing their fate. Harper struggles with the locked door, desperation etched on his face. In the control room, a monitor flickers, showing live footage. The group looks older, more rugged, their faces etched with worry. Dean's voice cuts through the tension. You staged this, Callie. This is just another one of your pranks. Callie, indignant, retorts. I didn't. Why would I do this? On the control room screen, Callie is tied to a chair, her silent screams filling the sterile environment. I want out. I don't want to hear my own death. Ezra's demand echoes through the room. A new hallway appears, where a closet once stood, bathed in the eerie glow of flickering green bulbs. They cautiously step into the hallway, their eyes darting around, seeking an escape route. As they walk, the hallway twists, walls curving in ways that defy reality. The layout shifts, disorienting them further. Harper's voice trembles. This place isn't architecture. It's tissue. It's alive. The team stands frozen, overwhelmed by the sight of their long-lost van, now a relic of time. Dean approaches, his fingers gently brushing against the van's weathered surface, a ghost of familiarity in his touch. He pulls the door open, revealing their aged belongings, each item whispering stories of their shared past. Inside the van, the sleeping bags crumble, and rust consumes Callie's tripod. Callie breaks the silence, her voice filled with despair. This is impossible. The windshield displays a chilling message scrawled in what appears to be dried blood. Stop recording. Ezra screams in terror. Ah! A wall speaker blares, intensifying the dread. A metallic voice echoes through the sterile hallway, its words chillingly clear. The walls close in as the voice proclaims, Callie Mercer. 3:17 a.m. Final confession. I left them to die. Callie cries out in denial. No, that's not true. Unmarked, steep stairs descend into darkness. Each step groans ominously under their weight. Harper leads the way, a lantern cutting through the gloom. They descend into the depths, the air growing heavier with each step. The oppressive atmosphere intensifies, a silent weight pressing down on them. At the bottom, an underground chamber pulses with an unidentifiable energy. Deep within the earth, suspended by wires, floats the broadcastera, faceless, human-shaped figure. She hangs before a monolithic radio tower of steel, bone, and obsolete technology. The broadcaster stretches arms outward, as if to beckon. Ezra collapses, hands clamped over ears, writhing in anguish. Ezra cries out, "She's broadcasting our memories, our futures. She's erasing us, piece by piece." Callie's camera drifts away, capturing her lifeless face. Her mouth hangs open, throat gruesomely exposed. Callie snatches the camera back, her eyes wide with terror. The broadcaster's voice reverberates through the chamber, shaking the very foundations. Speakers blare with cacophonous voices from their deepest memories, overwhelming their senses. The broadcaster's command echoes, "You brought yourselves to me. Now, record." Ezra recoils, his eyes reflecting the chilling realization of their situation. Dean's gaze sweeps across the chamber, settling on the glowing, antique microphone. Ezra cries out, "She's anchoring to our guilt. That's how she stays real." Dean pinpoints the mic as the source of the original transmission. Callie declares, "We break it. We cut the signal." Dean pulls a flare gun. Harper is desperate to prevent the inevitable, but Dean acts swiftly. Dean fires, and the flare speeds towards its target. The flare strikes the mic base, unleashing a deafening scream as the tower trembles. The broadcaster tears itself apart, its form collapsing inward. Chaos erupts in the underground chamber as cables lash wildly. The ground trembles with a violent force. Harper's desperate shout pierces through the rumble. "Move!" The stairwell is a ruin of concrete and metal, a gaping hole revealing the world outside. One by one, figures emerge from the darkness and jump through the opening, embracing the uncertain light beyond. The sun crests the horizon as they arrive at the tree line. The Coldridge Tower collapses silently behind them. Ezra sits up, his body trembling uncontrollably. Ezra asks, his voice filled with trepidation, "Is it gone?" Silence hangs heavy in the air. Callie holds her camera, the lens capturing every moment. The screen flickers, a clip labeled "Autoplaying" appears. She sits alone at the microphone, tears streaming down her face. Under a pale sky, the weathered radio station broadcasts a desperate truth. Callie's voice echoes, "I'm sorry, but they're still down there." The clip concludes, a new voice rising from the camera speaker, signaling a shift. The lens captures the broadcaster's enduring influence, a haunting echo in the endless cycle of recording. A haunting voice echoes, "You never stopped recording." Dean and Harper, worn out, drive away from Coldridge as the sun beats down. Dean checks the rearview mirror. Coldridge has vanished from sight. Ezra hunches in the dim light of their apartment, brow furrowed as they navigate a digital maze. Conflicting accounts and broken links taunt Ezra, each click deepening their frustration. A frustrated sigh escapes their lips as the silence is broken by a faint, unnerving whispering. Callie leans in, her eyes intensely scanning the screen, searching for answers hidden within the flickering footage. Her expression darkens as she uncovers subtle anomalies, each inconsistency a painful reminder of what she'd missed. Grimacing, Callie highlights the incriminating files, dragging them toward oblivion. With a final, decisive click, she empties the recycle bin, attempting to purge the haunting experience from her mind. Callie writhes in her nightmare, sweat glistening on her brow, trapped within the control room. She is trapped in the control room. She doesn't remember how she got here. Monitors flicker with static, casting eerie shadows around the cold room. A microphone stands alone, a silent demand, only that she must speak. In Ezra's dimly lit apartment, shadows dance across stacks of vintage records and obsolete radio equipment. The air crackles with static as Ezra leans in, fixated on the spinning tape. A flicker of hope ignites in Ezra's eyes as they isolate a hidden message within the noise. Dean and Harper return to Coldridge radio station, drawn back by an inexplicable pull. A subtle alteration hangs in the air, a change so slight it's felt rather than seen. Dean and Harper step into the abandoned main studio, a palpable tension filling the air. Cables snake across the floor like dormant serpents, equipment stands idle, and the silence is unnerving. A feeling of being watched settles over them, adding to the sense of unease. Dean and Harper walk into the familiar recording booth, a wave of déjà vu washing over them. They stand silently, the weight of past events heavy in the air. Dean and Harper burst into the control room, their eyes scanning the scene. But the main monitor isn't displaying schematics or data. It's showing a live feed of them. From moments ago, Dean and Harper run desperately, seeking escape from the relentless, shifting hallway. The hallway mocks their efforts, twisting and turning, leading them back to the dreaded control room. Dean and Harper stand in the underground chamber, facing a more powerful broadcaster. The broadcaster looms, radiating menace. The broadcaster stands in the heart of the underground chamber, a sinister grin slowly taking over her face. With a sweeping gesture, the very air around her shimmers and distorts, bending to her command. Her voice echoes with cruel certainty. You're trapped. Trapped in an endless loop of recording and reliving your worst fears. There is no escape. In the heart of the underground chamber, Dean and Harper stand face to face, the weight of their shared past hanging heavily between them. Dust motes dance in the single shaft of light, illuminating their expressions of somber realization. Hope flickers in their eyes as they accept their past mistakes. In the dimly lit underground chamber, Dean and Harper face the shadows of their shared past, the oppressive weight of history bearing down on them. As understanding dawns and forgiveness begins to bloom, a subtle ripple of energy pulses outward, disrupting the broadcaster's insidious control over their minds. The broadcaster's power wanes, its influence over their minds faltering. Deep within the underground chamber, Dean and Harper unite against a common enemy. They focus their efforts on dismantling the radio tower, a symbol of the broadcaster's control. With each action, they sever the broadcaster's connection, reclaiming their freedom. Dean and Harper escape the Coldridge radio station, a cloud of dust and debris marking their frantic retreat. The radio station groans ominously, a crumbling monument to their harrowing ordeal. They do not look back at the radio station as Coldridge shrinks in the distance. Though scarred and soiled, Dean and Harper are alive. Callie watches the news, a faint smile playing on her lips as she hears of Coldridge radio station's collapse. She knows the broadcaster is gone, but the recordings live on.